that is this smelly.
I'm wearing football pads in summer.
Oh, you're slow.
I'm very big and large, and that's a bummer. I guess they want to shrink my belly, but there's no place on earth that isn't smelly.
No.
Love this song.
It just reminds me of where we are in the sports calendar right now. We're about to be in football. We're kind of in football. We're inching towards football. And when we see these big sloppies running around with their pillows and their nighties.
Oh, now they've got a big sponge extra helmet. Like the little kids.
Everybody's wearing that. I don't see an NFL team that's not putting the extra padding on their helmet.
I swear it's the first time like Pop Warner Football helped out the NFL to get them to start wearing extra protection.
Now, if we could find something for knees and Achilles, then we'd be off and running, but people keep on dropping. J.J. McCarthy's 2024 season is over. We thought it was a torn meniscus yesterday. We were waiting for the results. It's definitely torn, and he will undergo surgery. And now veteran Sam Darnold steps into the fold. A door closes, another one opens. And
by the way, Jazz Chisholm officially on the 10-day IL.
Just happened.
So that just happened.
Went down. So. Let's see. I did see Texas football. I know this isn't NFL, but Texas Longhorns are down to their third-string running back already. We have a torn Achilles and now a torn ACL.
Were those non-contact? Hey.
I know. There was a lot of noise from the Patriots' joint practice with the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, and not in a good way. It felt like everybody that was there left with a horrible taste in their mouth that was wearing anything red, white, and blue representing the Patriots. Apparently, out of 20 plays between Jacoby Brissett, Drake May, 15 were either penalties or sacks. The 5 that weren't were a couple of interceptions, one by which of Jacoby Brissett hitting Austin Hooper right between the chest, bounced off his shoulder pads into the hands of a Philadelphia Eagle. The 3 that were actual successful plays were only for a little check down 2 or 3 yards. Did not look good yesterday. Now it has people questioning Drake May in the draft pick. It's got people throwing out win totals of 2, 3, 4 maybe.
Had 4 last year.
And things aren't looking good at the start of the Gerard Mayo era.
Well, and last 6 plays, 5 of Drake May's last 6 plays, he was sacked by the Eagles in the joint
Not
practice.
necessarily Drake May's fault.
No. So that again, so you can't say, well, it's the kid. No, your offensive line needs help. And Gerard Mayo in his post-game or post-practice presser was saying this was a train wreck for the offense. So, but
at least he recognizes it.
But the buck stops with you.
Right.
You're now where Bill Belichick used to have to be. So answering those questions cannot be fun for a rookie NFL head coach, but get used to it, dude. You're only as good as your players. Your players make you look brilliant or they make you look like you need a new job. So, this is a coaching situation now. You go back, you got to get these guys, coach them up here as we're getting ready for second or third week of preseason and getting close to the regular season. You have to address this kind of stuff, even in a joint practice. But listen, at least it's a joint practice and not a regular your practice where, okay, they would have not sacked the guy. You know, he's got the red penny on, so, hey, don't touch him. So this is the kind of stuff like, listen, you almost got Drake May killed, which if he gets killed, I get fired.
Now, I would also say for Mayo, do not let the Bill Belichick tenure fool you. This league still stands for not for long. And, you ain't going to get much rope in any NFL team if you run out the gates and start losing football games. A very near-miss injury in Baltimore this morning. Mark Andrews, the tight end, was driving to the facility where he was involved in a serious car accident. 2 vehicles sustained heavy damage. The great news is that Mark Andrews is going to be okay. Like, you try to protect everything on the football field, and then things in real life can happen as well.
Remember when Cam Newton was in a car accident and the truck was flipped? I saw, like, the aftermath. I don't remember where I was working, but it had the live feed It used to have like the newsroom had live feeds, and they had it.
Yeah.
And it was awful.
I remember this like it was yesterday because we got the footage from the stoplight cam, the traffic cam, and like this dude rolls in a truck. Now, Cam Newton's
the truck saved him.
The truck totally saved him. It was I forget what the truck was, but it was brand new. It looked like an armored vehicle.
Right.
But he got smoked and totally was not his fault. He was, I really think Cam was a different person after that. Like he came into the press conference visibly shook. And for him to be the size that he was, like that truck rolled, man. That truck rolled in the inner city. For him to be the size he was, the truck that he was in, it was very fortunate that he walked away from that crash. But that was a scary morning as well. Just as much as you want all these guys to be as safe as possible, we don't want anything to happen to anybody. We're still playing football here. And, that would have been a huge hit to the Carolina Panthers at that moment. And just like Mark Andrews, no pun intended, huge hit to their football team if he was to go down from that car accident this morning. So good news that he is going to be okay.
It's always scary, man. It's always scary. Let's talk some more about Ayuk, where, yesterday we thought he was getting traded. Then, okay, they had said Ayuk and his agent could explore trade possibilities. They got the trade, and the 49ers at the same time were like, we still are thinking about this. We don't want this trade to happen, even though it's a good possibility that it could. So they offered him a 4-year contract at the same time, trying to lure him back into the good graces of the San Francisco 49ers and staying with the team. So that's in flux. That's a day-to-day thing where is he staying? Is he going? How long do you give him? A couple days, 48 hours, 72 hours, a week. Whether or not he makes a decision. When do you think the team needs to move on from this to not have this drag towards opening day?
The Steelers need it more than the 49ers need it.
Yeah.
And if the 49ers really want to play around with this, they're going to make it really hard for the Steelers to add him into game plans because you're right. There's going to be like a time where like, okay, we're kind of wasting precious reps here or precious time thinking about things that might never happen. And in the NFL world, college football, high school, you don't have time to do crap except for everything that you have had planned out. And if that gets, wrecked one way or another, to add minutes to the day is impossible. So for them to game plan without Brandon Ayuk in the Pittsburgh side, I think is a lot easier than what the 49ers. 49ers have game planned it, I feel like, in their mind when I watched their draft. When they got Ricky Pearsall from Florida, I was like, okay, they're planning on the plan B if Brandon Ayuk is not a part of the team. So I think the Steelers need this to happen a lot faster than what the 49ers do.
All right, so there's a joint practice going on between the Vikings and the Browns. Rookie Mike Hall Jr. is back with the team after he was arrested the other night. Listen to this. The second-round pick from Ohio State. I read this yesterday. We didn't have time to really bring it up because we were going over a bunch of other stuff, but it's alleged that there was a domestic issue between Hall and his baby mama, and so she had called the police. He was being unruly. She claims that he put a gun to her head, struck the baby, a whole mess of other things. It's all alleged at this point. But if some of this stuff is true, this kid is in an awful lot of trouble right now. And again, domestic violence is not allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. Putting your hands on the woman, putting your hands on the kid should not be allowed. But now bringing a gun into this whole situation as a whole new battery of charges. So we have to wait and see. 21 years old, you would think because you're in NFL camp, some of this other stuff, would be avoided. But obviously sometimes life supersedes your professional life. And, all of this is awful. Not for the Cleveland Browns, but for Mike Hall. And everybody involved, the child, everybody. And if it's over money or something stupid like that, it's even worse.
You're right.
Just if you're responsible for the child, pay the child support, move on, but don't get into this kind of mess, especially when you're trying to make an NFL team.
Yeah, you're right to use the word kid as well. He just turned 21 years of age, and he will be visiting the headquarters of the Browns today to figure out some of the future.
Well, because, again, we talk about the police blotter. None of this stuff is funny. A DUI, any of this stuff, driving 150 miles an hour in a car and killing somebody, it's all stupidity. But the problem is that a lot of these guys are human. They're going to make human mistakes. It's magnified because it's in real time. You get this stuff on the internet, on social media. I read it on social media as it was happening. You know, he left the scene. They had to find him. They had to bring him in, arrest him, arraign him, all this other stuff. None of that stuff is a good reflection on the league, on the Browns, but more importantly, Mike Hall Jr. Dude, you're 21 years old. You got your whole life ahead of you, man. It's crazy if some of this stuff that's alleged actually happened.
Now, I do have a police blotter story that is somewhat funny, and Dibbs turned us on to this going to the break. A woman that is a Chicago lunch lady, and she's in charge of ordering a lot of the food. She ended up ordering a bunch of chicken wings, 11,000 cases worth of chicken wings over the course of 19 months. So 2 school years.
Do we have any of the
bringing
math
in
on
the
that?
chicken wings?
How many boxes of chicken wings a week extra are you ordering to get that to 11,000 in 18, 19 months?
Now, apparently, she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Now, I'm thinking in bulk for a school, they're probably cheaper. If this was like sliders.
Now, 11,000 cases. How many are in a case of elementary school
Again,
chicken
we
wings?
got to find that number out, too.
The other thing I was noticing, and we were talking in the break, is, man, you're getting chicken wings in elementary school?
I'm like, damn, I want to be in that school.
Totally. I
We
would.
got like the cardboard box pizza when I was in junior high.
Vera Liddell, 68-year-old elementary school Chicago lunch lady. She could be my lunch lady all the time. I'd let her have a box of chicken wings, too, on the top, just in case I get my chicken wings on Tuesdays through Thursdays. But she is in prison. 9 years is where she will be, or 9 years is the time that she'll be doing.
And a stiff sentence for chicken wings. I mean, yes, it's a massive amount, but 9 years at 68 years old? Dude, she's going to die behind bars.
So Chris Jones, Kansas City, he just got paid $158 million for 5 years, and he wants to help out, and he wants to pay for them chicken wings.
Now, does that get her paroled?
No, unfortunately, that's as the article on TMZ reads, that's not how the justice system works, Chris Jones.
But I get where he's coming from. He's got a big heart, and he's trying to get Grandma out of the slammer.
11,000 cases of chicken wings.
What's Grandma doing with all that stuff anyway?
Just having a hell of a time.
The lunch lady. Did she have a chicken shack? Did she have like a restaurant or something?
No, you know, I bet she's literally feeding her family. She is not like having banger parties with chicken wings from the cafeteria. She's probably feeding her family.
And if that's the case, that's even more sad that she had to steal to feed her family, and then you're going to throw her behind bars for 9 years.
Honestly, I had some some friends with lunch lady moms, and we got some of them hash browns every now and then. And I wouldn't think anything other than
Hash browns?
Dude, you ever have those? You guys didn't have hash browns on school breakfast?
School breakfast?
School breakfast?
Yeah, school breakfast. You show up early enough.
You spoiled brats.
It's like 75 cents. It was half of what lunch was.
Wow.
And then you got lunch too?
Oh, yeah. 2 lunches.
Wow.
Wow.
Must be nice.
That's in a word. Wow. Because
We're growing boys in the Midwest, all right? We got to eat.
Wow.
We got to eat.
We got ripped off, man. We got ripped off. But
Sometimes
you know what I did like though?
What?
Those little packages of chocolate chip cookies came in 3s.
Yeah.
That you could buy at lunch.
You had to have milk.
You had to because the rest of the meal
They
was
were
awful.
pretty dry, so you had to dunk them.
Yeah, they were awesome, dude.
I was also a fan of all the milk. I do not discriminate between 2%, 1%, skim, chocolate,
No, I like
vitamin
chocolate
D.
better.
All these kids, oh man, you're not going to drink your milk? Sometimes there'd be lunches, I'd have 20 milks.
But chocolate didn't like me. I like chocolate. That would empty me out getting back to
like
the
a whole.
conversation. It's like,
Whole.
if I was running track, let me have that chocolate milk.
Just bring my chocolate
be a
milk
lot
back
lighter.
to class. I'd always bring milk back to class. It's like, where'd you get that milk? Cafeteria. Just had lunch.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll do Dibbles and Bits.